There we go. Tied at 10, not anymore. This time, ratified is down. Here in double OT. We'll go at it again inside. Tampa Bay Gators are going to crash hole 19.
Time is happening in the tournament since 2000.
Welcome, CDL fans. The time has come for another game day here in the Car Demolition League. The April 27th game day just about set to be underway. No development league scores to give you. There weren't any matchups there today, and there are no buys in the pros today. Full-on game day, cross-conference game day. As a matter of fact, some big matchups here on CDL Live. Jacksonville Bangums fans, you're going to get the chance to see your Bangums in action. Full game today. They will lead things off against the Portland Panthers here on this April 27th game day. So, should be kind of a fun one to watch. Portland's got some good cars to watch out for. As a matter of fact, the Panthers just took a loss to the Shinobis, and one of the cars on the Shinobis is Spectite. Well, Spectite Jr. rather. Well, Jacksonville has black Spectite. Could cause problems for the for their opponents, for the Portland Panthers. We'll soon see. But that being said, a lot of things on the line coming to this game day. The standings severely close. LA only one game ahead, 3 points ahead of both San Francisco and Portland in the standings, making this game maybe even bigger than what it is. Big games going on across the league. Phoenix and Pittsburgh going head-to-head today in our mid-feature. Phoenix currently with 47 points, 10th place in the West, and sitting just 3 points behind San Jose for that final eighth playoff spot. So Phoenix trying to desperately get a win to keep the pace with them. And also Nevada's only 2 points ahead of them right now, so in the 9th seed. So big game for the Firebirds. As for the Pittsburgh Destroyers, big game for them too. They might be sitting 7th place in the Eastern Conference, but Hartford and Washington only 3 points or one game behind them, and Buffalo only a point behind them. So just as big of a game there for Pittsburgh as well. The former Syracuse Scorpions, I like to call them. They're the former D-League team that's down there right now. And then our main event, the San Jose Storm and the Washington Patriots. Big game for both teams. As I mentioned, the San Jose Storm sitting at the 8th seed in the West right now with their 50 points. Their opponents, the Washington Patriots, trying to keep the pace with the Tampa Bay Gators, who are only 1 point ahead of them for the lead in the Southeast Division. Things are huge. We will also follow throughout the highlights here. Boston and Philadelphia, they are tied at 58 points for first place in the Northeast Division. Not just in the Northeast, but in the Eastern Conference. And just imagine, Dayton might have an opportunity. They're only 2 points behind both Boston and Philly, leading the Northern Division right now, so the Rebels might be able to sneak in the first place in the East. So, huge games going on across the league. Definitely, yes, it's game time. It's go time at this point. Not a lot of game days left here in the Car Demolition League. This brings this week to a close, so after this game day, 4 weeks left in the regular season. Not a whole lot considering the whole regular season happens over a course of 13 weeks, so closer to the end than the beginning, folks. So that being said, let's get you down to the field for that first game. Portland Panthers, Jacksonville Bangums.
This is game time, and it's game time that the madness fly. Show the strength that just can't be defied.
Welcome down to the field here on this April 27th edition of CDL Live. Getting set for our first matchup to take place. The 16-5, 2-4 Portland Panthers on the road against the 10-15, 1-1 Jacksonville Bangums. The Bangums making their first and might be, quite frankly, the last appearance on CDL Live this season. Actually have a whole game actually featured with them in it. The reason why is they haven't done too well, but needless to say, they play a team that is in the hunt right now for sure. Not just for a playoff spot, but talking Pacific Division title. Portland with 56 points, currently third place in the Pacific Division, while they are tied with San Francisco for second place. Just took a loss to San Francisco. And both they and the Shinobis sit 3 points behind the LA Blades for first place in the league. And not only in division conference, but in the league. The Jacksonville Bangums with 33 points, 16th place in the Eastern Conference, and 13 points back from a playoff spot, so 5 games. So really, they are on the brink of near being eliminated from playoff contention, no doubt. So every game really critical for the Bangums if they want to keep any sort of hope alive. We enter this game day with 7 different teams, 1 game out of first place in the league, so pretty epic stuff. A lot of things to actually try to follow. So hard to just paint the whole scenario, but at the same time, that's the best way I can put that is the scenario. 7 teams, 1 game or less out of first place. So, yeah, pretty crazy stuff. So that being said, let's get down to this game right here. But first, the lineups. Portland Panthers, Jacksonville Bangums. So both the front runners on the field, it is Purple Fire leading the way for the Portland Panthers, and it is Zap leading the way for Jacksonville. And game on, offense on the mind of both teams. They will switch sides off of the first collision, go at it again. Purple Fire has a good flip. The score, 5-0 Portland. That will now bring out Testarossa for the Jacksonville Bangums. Looking to even things up here. And he does. So a good flip right there. Purple Fire down off screen, almost making contact with his home tote, if you will, or interference. So that being said, tied at 5, and that brings out Monty. And Monty getting the lead for Portland right away. No stability out of Testarossa right there as he went right down. 10-5, Panthers lead now. Monty looking to put it away as he takes on Black Spectite. And Black Spectite able to tie things up at 10 apiece. Now going head-to-head with who from the Panthers captain spot, so both the captains out there. So the Bangums putting up a fight here, and they have a lead. 15-10 the score, looking for the upset. So that brings out 1975 for the Panthers, looking to force overtime. Almost did right there. Black Spectite going for the win, and no, we will see overtime. Black Spectite down. So 15-15, we are now in OT, and that brings out 76 for the Bangums to battle with 1975. Here we go in overtime. 76 has a flip, and the Panthers will lose this one in OT. The Bangums pulling off the upset here to start off this cross-conference game day. Unbelievable stuff. 76 getting the job done. Gotta give credit to 1975 for taking down Black Spectite. But at the same, in the same token, what a game play by the Bangums, scoring a huge upset. Jacksonville improves their record to 11-15, 1-1. Portland goes to 16-5, 2-5. Portland does get a point from that OT loss, so they move up to 57 points in the standings, temporarily ahead of San Francisco, and we'll be seeing how they do a little bit later. Shinobi's taking on the Tampa Bay Gators. So we look ahead to the next game day for both of these teams. The Jacksonville Bangums, they will be on the road against the Dayton Rebels. Be another tough game for Jacksonville. They'll be looking for another performance like this. As for the Portland Panthers, Portland's next game, they're going to be on the road again. Going to be a divisional matchup when they go head-to-head with the San Diego Lightning. So that being said, an upset to start off our game day. Crazy stuff here in the Car Demolition League. We're about to head on to some highlights and everything, and go around the league for the first time twice. We do it 2 times. you know how this works if you watched before, but if you haven't watched, gonna see a few highlights, and then when we come back, we're gonna have our mid-feature Phoenix Firebirds and the Pittsburgh Destroyers. Should be a fun game between those two, but for now, back to the curtain, and we'll get you the highlights. Well, folks, there's a saying in football: any given Sunday. Well, in the CDL, it's any given Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. So in this case, any given Friday. But needless to say, yes, upset, or actually any given Wednesday. My mistake. It happens sometimes. I get mixed up in the days, but yeah, any given Wednesday, I suppose. But could happen on any day. The Jacksonville Bangums get the win over the Portland Panthers. Kind of put some pressure on San Francisco to get something better than an overtime loss. So at least for Portland, they do get a point from the OT loss. But a should-win game, they got to feel that they let slip through their fingers right there. But that being said, we got plenty more action. Let's go around the league. Our first set of highlights, folks. A lot of stuff going on. There's other games other than the ones that you're going to be seeing in the features. Tampa Bay and San Fran. Seattle and Carolina. I know you're looking forward to that one anyway. Some of you might be, but needless to say, a lot of action going on around the league, and we are going to cover every single little bit of it. Matter of fact, we're going to find out the Blades, the defending world champions, can get back on track in this highlight reel. So, after 2 shutout losses, can they get back on track? What's going on with Alex Johnson's Blades? His plays haven't been doing well all season, so can he defeat himself, basically, to get back on track with his Blade squad? First highlight reel. Here it is. So we start off our highlight reel with the Roswell Aliens and the Detroit Devils, and F1 Racer, the car to look out for in this game as he took on Black Dragon. This first collision, a mean one, and yes, an interference. Going to be saving F1 Racer, so he saves himself, keeps on fighting here against Black Dragon, and that time right there, so close, but no interference. F1 Racer had the flip, and then out here against Cloud Cutter, just a couple of collisions in is all it would take. Cloud Cutter down 10-0, Roswell in the lead, but Padawan keeping the Devils alive. So now he would go head-to-head with Dragonfly, 2 good defensive cars, battling it out, do a barrel roll, somehow Dragonfly staying up there, and yet again, Padawan putting the pressure on, but in the end, both cars down, so Padawan at least keeping his team in the game, but spec tight. Out there against the 5-point gainer from the Detroit side, Black 3, who's able to stave off that first collision, but not the second. Able to get the job done there is spec tight. Going 1-0, it's all he had to do. So really a great teamwork day. F1 Racers 2-1 day. And then, of course, the tie by Dragonfly and Spec Tight finishing it off 15-10. The Roswell Aliens get the win over the Detroit Devils. And moving on to what was the Alex Johnson Bowl here. His 2 teams, his Los Angeles Blades, led off with Far Future against Green Blaze Jr. from his Puerto Rico players side. And a good battle that would start off this game between these 2 cars. Of course, Puerto Rico's been in a year-long slump, and the Blades have been on the slump as of late. Lost the last 2 games in a manner of a shutout, as a matter of fact. And didn't look good at the beginning of this one. Green Blaze Jr. getting the flip on Far Future. Now face Lena here. And a good battle that would also happen between these 2. Few good collisions here. Off screen, both cars were staying up, switching sides here. Lena from the home side of the field, able to come up big there and tie the game up. Now out there against Solar Reflex, and we see a great dual barrel roll maneuver by Lena, able to stay up. The battle continues, and Solar Reflex, it says it. Anything you can do, I can do better. Solar Reflex, do a barrel roll, able to keep in the game, but that time does get taken down. So Lena with the Blades giving them a 10-5 lead. Now out here against Black Lena. You're going to see on this first collision, somehow able to survive. Great move by Lena. He gets the home side of the field, and he would keep it until the end here against Black Lena. And just a good battle by both cars. 2 cars of the same model, but in the end, well, yeah, they would have switched right there, but Black Lena went down 15-5, the final score. The Los Angeles Blades getting the win over the Puerto Rico players, back on the winning track. Definitely needed that win as they head into their matchup against the Shinobis on the April 29th game day, a 3-0 day for Lena. Moving on with the matchup between the San Antonio Kings and the Cleveland Wolves, and Motorblade Jr., a car that the Kings have been needing to step up, and hasn't done so really as of late, but out there today getting the quick flip after just a few collisions on Junk in the Trunk. 5-0 Kings. Now out there against Boligo, who's at the middleman spot today, but he would get sat down by Motorblade Jr. And then just a couple of collisions into this battle with Aqua Ferrari, both cars down. A 2-0-1 day for Motorblade Jr., getting the job done himself, getting the win. Not quite serving them donuts, but a 2-0-1 day for Motorblade Jr. 15-5 is the result. The Kings getting the win over the Wolves. So we move on along to this game here. San Diego Lightning and the Atlanta Avengers, a very entertaining matchup as we see 7 Series, his opening match with Black Marinello, and after it would take a few collisions here, but 7 Series would have the flip and a 5-0 lead for the Lightning, but quickly the game was tied by Clown. So now Clown out there against Dirty Snow from the San Diego side, who came off of that big win over LA, but both him and Clown were down, so we were tied at 10 apiece, setting up Teardrop and 40, both cars from the captain spot. And check out these moves from Teardrop, somehow on these collisions able to stay up yet again. His defense in full swing, and that one right there, an interference back to their own sides, and then Teardrop does just that. Mama put him in a K-pop video, do a barrel roll, able to stay in the game. The match would continue, but it would end right there. So all that work to no avail. 40 getting the flip and the lead, but he gets taken down by Hot Goat. The rookie forces overtime, now takes on Dark Knight in OT. And what a move by the rookie Hot Goat. My goodness, somehow able to stay up there. So a little bit later, they keep going at it, and this time, both vehicles down. Game over. Ends in a tie. 15-15 the final score between the Avengers and the Lightning. So we move on along. Nevada Thunder and Miami Mafia. Neon and White Indy leading off this game. A good little battle between the two, but Neon proving he was the better car here today. But quickly gets taken down by Yellow Spider. So tied at 5, and nothing in between Yellow Spider and Monkey today. So we had a 10-10 game. Moving along quickly here, a lot of offense, and yes, off screen, you guessed it, Aqua Chevelle down, Hornet getting the flip, now going up against Mach 6. Hornet going for the win, Mach 6 trying to force overtime, and yeah, that pretty much that quickly. So big, long, how to put this, like an offensive game, and it might be kind of rare in the pros to a point, but there was just a lot of offense in this game. But Hornet gets the job done, goes 2-0. The Nevada Thunder get the 15-10 win over the Miami Mafia. Both these teams got some defensive cars that just wasn't there today. So with not much defense to speak of in that last game, maybe this game will be a little bit different. We had Nickel and Diamond out there against Hot Tub Jr. Okay, maybe not. Might not be different at all. So White Ferrari, good defensive move right there. Perhaps I'm going to get going. Well, he got the flip. So White Ferrari making it a 10-5 game in Houston's favor, but out comes Cartman. And, well, let's see how well his defense does today. Good matchup so far, taking on White Ferrari here. Able to stay up. That was a pretty move. And then, my goodness, Mama put him in a K-pop video. Yes, Cartman brings defense back to the Car Demolition League's game day here on April 27th. It's just such a sweet maneuver right there. Interference right there. Saving him. But able to come back from that. Get the flip. And not only that, makes it look pretty. Yes, in slow motion, please. Cartman getting the job done there. And, yes, that would tie things up at 10. So now, against Racer X. 2 lightweight defensive cars, and look at that pretty move right there. Able to stay up was Cartman that time. Interference, had them both back on their own sides. They go at it again. Cartman again able to stay up, switching sides here with Racer X. And yet again, another interference. Both cars back on their own sides. And this time, right there in the middle of the field, Racer X is down, but Hot Wheel Vet for the Houston Oilers able to force overtime right there. Off screen, Cartman was down. So now Hot Wheel Vet and Toyota in overtime. Game tied at 15, and not anymore. Toyota up off screen, and the Mob hang on to get the win here. 20-15, or should I say they come back to get the win here. 20-15 in overtime. They defeat the Oilers. So who was looking forward to this one? Seattle Lumberjacks and the Carolina Wildcats. Well, it was a pretty fun game. Kind of one that moved along pretty quickly. Buzz-off going down at the hands of Dragon Jr. And Dragon Jr. on point today. Works out a tie there with Darkwing, who was down off screen. 10-5 the score. Carolina in the lead. 1-0-1 day for Dragon Jr. leading to his teammate Mellow 51, who would take on Dark Dragon. Mellow 51 trying to put the game away, has that opportunity in his hands and takes full advantage of it. 15-5 the final score. Beautiful gameplay by the Carolina Wildcats. Great teamwork. 1-0-1 day by Dragon Jr. Sets up point set match. Sets up Mellow 51, who goes 1-0, gets the game winner. 15-5. Wildcats get the win over the Lumberjacks. So moving on to the matchup between the Twisters and the Demons. Philadelphia trying to get back to the top of the Northeast Division. Had Silver Molina out there first, taking on Rowdy from the Twister side. A good battle between the two, but in the end, as you are going to see here, Rowdy using his way to his advantage, takes down Silver Molina. 5-0 Twisters in the lead, but that brought out Pink Indy rather, from the Philadelphia Demon side, and you see a good fight will occur between these two. Pink Indy and Rowdy head-to-head, and in the end, Pink Indy getting the flip. So now Pink Indy tying the game up at 5, takes on Silver Indy. He's been pretty hot for the Twisters all year, but can he take down the legend is the question. So these two would go at it, and both of them putting on a legendary show. But in the end, Silver Indy able to get the flip, takes on the rookie Green Demon now, and Green Demon sat down. He got flipped quicker than a pancake at a Waffle House right there. And that's not what we have seen from Green Demon overall this season, but Silver Indy just made it look easy here today. Tell you what, you step up against the Twisters, you gotta bring your A game. No team can sleep on them and get away with it. You just saw one of the best teams try, and St. Louis made them pay. A 2-0 day for Silver Indy. 15-5, Twisters defeat the Demons. So maybe Tim Geiser's other team, the Hartford Homies, could have a little bit better luck taking on their Crash Bowl 10 opponents, the Minnesota Maniacs. Remember that perfect season? Well, that wasn't too perfect. Green 7 getting the flip, giving Minnesota the lead as he took down Redemption, and now 46 Jr. Definitely bring back memories of the original 46 playing for the 06 Homies. Was able to tie things up, took down Green 7. Now out here against Red Racer from the Minnesota side, and what a move by Red Racer right here. Able to stay in the game. Mama put him in a K-pop video. Able to stay up and keep in the fight. And not just that, but get a flip. 10-5 Minnesota brings out Indy 5 from the Hartford side, and Indy 5 would answer the call, tying things up at 10. So back and forth we go, and then Black Spinebuster, yes, his pitcher's up there for a reason. Mad ups given to him. Good fight between him and Indy 5, but in the end, Indy 5 sat down. So 15-10 Minnesota, and yes, quicker. Yeah, I know. You know what I was about to say. Deep fry me a Twinkie, a 2-0 day for Black Spinebuster. Gets the job done, no doubt about it. 2-0 day for him. And the Maniacs get some revenge for Crash Bowl 10 when they got beat 15-5, because they win today 15-10, the final score. They defeat the Homies. So the Blades back on the winning track. They have defeated the Puerto Rico Players as expected. Yeah, I know, any given Wednesday or Friday or Monday, but sometimes favored teams do win. And that happened in that case. But we are getting set for our mid-feature, and this one's up in the air. Only 3 points separating them in the standings, even though they're in a different conference. The Phoenix Firebirds and the Pittsburgh Destroyers. I explained the situation already at the top of the show. Let's get down to the field for it. Matt Giesser's Phoenix Firebirds, Gregory Fox's Pittsburgh Destroyers.
This is game time, and it's game time, and the madness fly. Show the strength that just can't be defied.
And we're back, CDL fans, on CDL Live here, our April 27th edition. Phoenix Firebirds on the field on the visitor side, set to take on the Pittsburgh Destroyers. Phoenix with a record of 15-10, 0-2. Pittsburgh with a record of 14-10, 2-1. So two very evenly matched teams set to go head-to-head as far as their records go. Of course, Pittsburgh, the talk that's been going on about them is former D-League squad there, even though Cars do have pro experience, that whole front line does, except for Epic Fast at 5-point gainer. all former pros as well as just being in the D League at the start of the season. But doing fairly well as of recent. 7th seed in the Eastern Conference with 47 points. Tied with Gowanda for the 6th seed, but trying to put the pressure on them and maybe take that 6th seed. And maybe could be a thing. They want to play against the Tampa Bay Gators in the first round. As for the Phoenix Firebirds, looking to keep up with the Nevada Thunder, who were able to get a win today. Phoenix in the 10th seed of the West. 3 points out of a playoff spot coming into this game day. And looking to make life tough for that 7 and 8 seed. San Jose and New Orleans, who have 50 points. Of course, Nevada with 49 got a win, so they're up to 52 now. So things really tight for those last 2 playoff spots in the Western Conference. Phoenix looking to keep it that way, keep things tight, headed into the game day that is actually going to be putting us 3/4 of the way through the season, the April 29th game day, the end of the month of April as well. Of course, May the last month of the regular season. So, but that being said, actually, if anything, really, with 38 game season, well, actually 39 game day season, yeah, I'd say the next game day would be the 3/4 mark. But needless to say, we got this game day to get through, and I didn't even tell you the lineups. I just backed them up, and I'm ready to go. Well, folks, let's get you a look at the lineups for both sides. Phoenix Firebirds, Pittsburgh Destroyers. Alright, with the front runners on the field here, Green Arrow leading the way for the Phoenix Firebirds. Blue BMW out there first for the Pittsburgh Destroyers. It is game on here in our mid-feature on this April 27th edition of CDL Live, and Blue BMW has a flip on Green Arrow. So, Green Arrow down and the score 5-0. Pittsburgh in the lead brings out Mika for Phoenix. Almost had a flip there. Blue BMW staying up. Both cars still going at it here. Good battle on hand, and this time Blue BMW is down, and we are tied at 5 apiece. So now for Pittsburgh, it will be Zebra out there. Zebra taking on Mika and Zebra both staying up. They will switch sides here, though. So from opposite sides, Zebra and Mika going at it. Ooh, was there an interference? I'm going to say that there wasn't an interference. It is a good flip, and Mika is down, but this play is going to be under review. So sit tight, folks. We will be right back. It's an official review, by the way. Alright, folks, back from reviewing that play, and it was very close right there, no doubt about it. And after reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Good flip, 10-0 Pittsburgh in the lead. Very close to an interference there, though no doubt. 10-5, Pittsburgh in the lead. Looking for the win now is Zebra as he takes on Stock 34, and Stock 34 tying things up at 10 right away. So now WA 17 out there for Pittsburgh to take on Stock 34. Stock 34 pretty good defensively, but taken down right there. WA 17. As soon as I was saying it, now goes head to head with Glitter, who will try to force overtime. Cannot do it, and the Destroyers are going to hit the 50-point mark. 15-10. They have the win over the Phoenix Firebirds, and this is 2 straight losses for Phoenix. Tough losses to take, knowing with all the teams there really on their tail. And as far as being on the actual feature games, Eastern Conference 2-0 against the West today, kind of somewhat surprising, including Jacksonville's overtime upset over Portland. But needless to say, 15-10, the final of this one. The Pittsburgh Destroyers getting the win in regulation over the Phoenix Firebirds. So that being said, Pittsburgh, a good win there for them. Going to put them to 50 points on the standings, and in the meantime, move them ahead of Gowanda. But of course, the Outlaws will have a little bit of a say of their own when they go head-to-head against the Nashville Nighthawks in a little bit. Could be tied at 50 points by the end of this game day. We shall see. But Pittsburgh, good win for them. That puts them up to 15-10-2-1 on the season. For Phoenix, a tough loss. They go to 15-11, 0-2. They stay at 47 points. And, well, a couple of teams that can catch them. Dallas has a chance to catch them now. Dallas has played Dayton later, so not an easy task there. And Idaho will also have a chance. Idaho playing against New York. So both the teams really on their tail, have a big challenge in front of them. But there is Indianapolis, too, who has 45 points back in the 13th seed. They got to play New Jersey. Winnable game by all rights. So should be quite interesting because it could be Indy surpassing all those teams and moving up actually into the 10th seed by the end of this game day. We just don't know yet, folks. But all remain to be seen. As a matter of fact, we are going to go back around the league. Another set of highlights about to happen here on CDL Live. But before that, let's get you back to the curtain. So a close game on display there. The Pittsburgh Destroyers getting a huge win. They are going to actually be able to possibly move past Gowanda. Don't know if you've seen the Gowanda highlights yet, folks. I do not know. But needless to say, I don't think you have yet. They might be able to move past Gowanda if the Outlaws lose to the Nashville Nighthawks. So yeah, I got to be thinking a game like that, I'd put in the second half of highlights. Oh well, we'll figure it out eventually. Speaking of second half highlights, let's get a look. So we start off the second highlight reel with the Denver Mustangs and the Buffalo Warriors. Purple Custo out there against Tyrell from the Buffalo side. Two offensive cars, both going down. 5-5 the score, and then came out 24 hours. So 24 hours going to work out here against what? Getting a good chance here, but what? Up to the task. Look at how close that was. Almost getting an interference in the process, but staying up anyway through that and continuing on with the battle, but gets sat down the end, so everything for nothing. But 24 hours, making it look easy against Green Blaze. I mean, right there was even any hint of survival right there. Taking down Green Blaze like it was nothing. In 24 hours, he's just been on point since joining the Denver Mustangs squad. A 2-0 day. The Denver Mustangs getting the win over the Buffalo Warriors. Final score 15-5. And on to the matchup between the New Mexico Monsters and the Bradford Brawlers. It was going to be a good battle between two of the heaviest cars on both teams. Monkey Ball and, of course, that's Escalade, the heaviest car in the league, but they both take each other out. So we had a 5-5 game. So that brought out X-Wing for the Monsters out there against Uncle Sam from the Brawlers. And a little interference there. They would have to go at it yet again. And they would go at it for quite a while until that point. X-Wing getting the flip, giving New Mexico the 10-5 lead. Now out there against Spinebuster. And these two would have an epic battle. Some really close calls, close to an interference there. And this time around, there most certainly was an interference. And on this collision, able to stay up. Great move by Spinebuster there. And this time, has X-Wing down, but he bounced off my knee. It's the interference, so Spinebuster shooting himself in the foot there. And X-Wing almost making him pay for it there. But able to stay up. But this time around, yes, it comes back to haunt him. Spinebuster down, and he's down clean that time around. X-Wing from the home side of the field getting the job done at the very end there. A 2-0 day for X-Wing. Absolute dominance on his part, but most certainly he did have to work for it, no doubt about it. 15-5, the Monsters getting the win over the Brawlers. So moving on to a matchup between the Indianapolis Reapers and the New Jersey Bandits. Blue Indy coming off a big game, leading the way for the Reapers today against Kid Custom, and a couple of collisions in, he would have a flip off screen. Kid Custom down now out there against Pink Lamborghini, and that time Pink Lamborghini down up off screen was Blue Indy. So he starts his day 2-0 out there against Power Pistons now, and Power Pistons #1 overall pick of the draft. But Blue Indy, he's been on point as of late, and that time off screen, Blue Indy stays up. And yes, quite the easy trip to the bakery. Flipping them quicker than pancakes at a Waffle House. Blue Indy on point as of late. Serves donuts for dinner today. 15-0 the final score. The Indianapolis Reapers getting the win over the New Jersey Bandits. Now on to the Idaho Cowboys and the New York Empire Challenge, and RDO2 leading things off, and Uncle Bill, I like IHOPs. Both cars flipped like pancakes right away, brings out Enzo 1 for the Empire, and he was on point today, taking down MX Drakester right there, giving the New York Empire a 10-5 lead, and then ties with Governor there, so taking Idaho's defense out of the way, 15-10. You saw his pitcher of the franchise, Black Bullet 2, and 42nd's pitcher, because 42nd getting the chances here, but the defense of the franchise, Black Bullet 2, making defense look pretty in this one right here. Mama put him in a K-pop video, able to stay up, but in the end, to no avail. Overtime is forced by 42nd. He would be head-to-head against Diesel Boy, who's been pretty darn good in overtime as of late, but gets sat down. Gets flipped quicker than a pancake at a Waffle House right there. Unbelievable stuff from 42nd, battling it out and winning the battle with Black Bullet 2, and then no less quickly disposing of Diesel Boy. 20-15 in overtime, the Idaho Cowboys getting the win over the New York Empire, and doing it on the road no less. 2-0 day for 42nd. So now we move on. The Green Bay Dragons trying to bounce back from a rough loss against the New Orleans Gladiators. Going up against the Golden Wall. Here is Rocket Oil from the Green Bay side, taking on Golden Rat there. And what a move by Rocket Oil. Yes, who knew Rocket Oil, a smash mouth car, could defend that way, able to stay up and end the fight, and gets the flip on Golden Rat, 5-0 in favor of the Dragons. Now out there against Elite, but we see Elite making some great Elite-like defensive moves, and my goodness, right there, Mama put him in a K-pop video, so we get another look at Elite here in slow motion, able to stay up, and the Golden Wall for now is holding up, but Rocket Oil keeping the pressure on, and he would not stop keeping the pressure on. He has the flip right there, so Rocket Oil starting the day 2-0. He got through the Golden Wall, now takes on the Yellow Brick Road. It's like Tigray out there trying to keep the Gladiators in the game, and what a move by Rocket Oil right there, able to stay up and in the fight, and this battle would keep on going on. And look at this move by Tigray, some great stuff right here, staying up in the process of that. Didn't even need an interference to touch up either. And again, game continue on. Look at this move, able to get the flip on Rocket Oil, makes it look pretty in the process. Great defense by Tigray, and he keeps the Gladiators in the game, and now would try to tie it against Shell. Shell going for the win, and getting lodged in the front end of Tigray, stuck in his grill. Talk about getting in someone's grill, that literally he got in his grill. This time around, a little interference right there, so Tigray would get back his side of the field, and Shell would take back the home side, and in the end, it is going to pay off after getting caught in his grill again. This time, doesn't touch up with nothing there. Tigray down off screen, and the game is over. A 2-1 day for Rocket Oil, and then that was followed by Shell going 1-0. His offense, actually, Shell's offense, coming up huge along with Rocket Oil. A smash mouth car that can play defense, as you just saw. 15-5, the Dragons bounce back and get the win over the New Orleans Gladiators. And now to a big matchup. Nashville Nighthawks go on to Outlaws. Two teams with playoffs on the brain, and Hammer getting a chance here, but Orange Chevelle, Mama put him in a K-pop video, does a barrel roll to stay up, and do a barrel roll yet again, able to hang in there in the fight, and it would keep going until that point when they both would be down. So now no fear out there for the Nighthawks against Lamborghini from the Gowanda side. Longtime Gowanda Outlaw. Lamborghini gets the flip, giving the Outlaws the lead. Now out there against Extinguish, and Extinguish puts that fire out quickly. So Extinguish, tying the game up at 10, now goes head-to-head with Sonic Boom, and what a matchup that these two would have. Extinguish in some good battles today, and this was definitely one of the best ones, no doubt about it, is he and Sonic Boom went at a good defensive move by both cars here, able to stay up and keep the fight between them going, and just like I said, a great matchup that these two would go through. Sonic Boom and Extinguish, they were both fighting for the title, Unflippable One, and in the end, yes, what a move by Extinguish. That's why they call him the Unflippable One, because he can do things like that. So Extinguish puts Nashville on top, and now Cockroach trying to force overtime, and yes, folks, this one was entertaining too. This could have been the most entertaining of all the matchups. We see these two former teammates, as a matter of fact, going head-to-head. Extinguish and Cockroach. They both were playing for Nashville back in 2010 when they took the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. Couldn't make it to the Crash Bowl, but needless to say, the battle continuing between the former teammates until that point. Extinguish, getting the game-winning flip on Cockroach, and the Nashville Nighthawks find a way to squeak out a win right there. A 3-0 day for Extinguish. The Nighthawks get the win over Gowanda, 15-10, the final. And put some D's on it, because it's the Dallas Lone Stars and the Dayton Rebels as we move on along. Watts up getting the quick flip on El Rey right there, 5-0 in favor of the Lone Stars. But Dayton has a chance here. Zapper gets the right of way on Watts up and trying, yes, on the right of way. It's a rule in the CDL. He's under him, so he's got the right of way to try to complete the flip. Cannot get it, and Watts up gonna make him pay for it right here. So close to interference, there is none, but Watts up starting the day 2-0. Now goes out there against Toe, and these two will have a battle that was pretty fun to watch. Good survival tactic by Toe. He's been hot all year. Interference right there. Watts up would have been up anyways, and then this time he gets taken down. So Toe on point, and then look at this move. Gets the flip on Gray Indy from the Dallas side and makes defense look pretty in the process. Offense and defense at the same time, but now he had to contend with Reptile. Good defensive car in his own right, and we saw these two battle it out with the score tied at 10 apiece. And look at that move. Toe, do a barrel roll, able to stay up, and the fight would continue, but not much longer. Toe gets set on his side. Reptile giving the Lone Stars a 15-10 lead, looking to put it away against Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero trying to force overtime. A great move by Reptile right there. Able to stay up, got the home side of the field, and wasn't looking back from there. Good move by Sub-Zero to stay up once, but not twice. Reptile getting the job done, goes 2-0 from his captain spot, and the Dayton Rebels find themselves on the short end of the sticks in this one. 15-10 the final score. The Dallas Lone Stars getting the win today. Like I said, 2-0 day for Reptile. Took on the clone of himself, Sub-Zero, and only difference is a paint job, color of the plastic. Getting the job done though. Lone Stars getting the win. So we move on along to a matchup between the Shinobis and the Tampa Bay Gators. So San Francisco leading off with F3, and he was downright effective today as he took on Ratified to lead off the game. Got a flip on him, and then out there against 48 Hours. Pretty good defensive car, but not today. F3 starting off 2-0 and 47 Ronin. Yes, he's an Eminem fan right now because he feels like the world is on his shoulders as he went to battle with F3 here. Both cars staying up, putting up a good fight, but in the end, 47 Ronin keeping the Gators in the game. Now out there against Black Bullet 1 and getting right in his grill was 47 Ronin. Had to pull him apart, put him at it again, and some great defensive maneuvers as we are about to see a beautiful barrel roll, do a barrel roll somehow. Black Bullet 1 able to stay up, and yes, in slow motion please, but to no avail because right after that 47 Ronin is an animal. He starts off 2-0, and now 47 Ronin would be out there against Spectite Jr. Game tied at 10. So Spectite Jr. has the weight advantage, using it at the beginning here, but after a few collisions, 47 Ronin prevails and now goes for the 4-0 Captain's Day, and quicker than a pancake at a Waffle House. Mach 5-2 gets flipped by 47 Ronin, and the game comes to its end. A 4-0 Captain's Day for 47 Ronin as he leads the comeback all by himself. He could write a solo record now and go platinum on that deal. 4-0 day, 15-10 the final. Because of it, the Gators get the win over the Shinobis. And we end off our highlights with the Wind Attack and the Vandals. Boston going for their 9th straight win. Blue Dragon out there for Chicago. Blue Dragon 2 out there for Boston. So yes, starting things off with the mirror match right here, and some great defensive moves being pulled off by two offensive cars. So we see both cars making good survivalist moves, and in the end though, Blue Dragon getting the flip as we get a closer look here in slow motion. Blue Dragon, amazing stuff from him and from Blue Dragon too, and this time Blue Dragon getting the flip on Nitro. So 10-0 game, Chicago in the lead, and now looking to put the game away as he was out there against Vendetta, but Vendetta doesn't want to give up on that winning streak and he didn't very easily. You just saw him make a great move there. Able to stay in the game, actually tie the game. He takes down Blue Dragons, so 10-5 Chicago lead. Are now out there for the Chicago wind attack, trying to get the win. Vendetta trying to keep his team alive, and does so. He ties the game, as a matter of fact. So Vendetta now taking on Highlight. Both cars out there from the captain spot. And the battle was on between these two defensive experts. 10-10 game. Vendetta trying to go for the captain's day, as you see them both making great moves. But this time around, Highlight would have the flip, and now looking to put the game away against Mach 5-3. Mach 5-3 trying to keep the streak alive, trying to force overtime here. Give his team a chance. Of course, Highlight trying to get the win here, and Highlight has the win. Takes down Mach 5-3, and just what a fight this whole game long. Some cars really stepping up, doing big things. Blue Dragon from Chicago, a 2-1 day. A 2-1 day for Vendetta from Boston, and a 2-0 day for Highlight from the Chicago wind attack and their captain spot there. Job well done by him to get the win. 15-10 the final score. The Chicago wind attack and the Vandals winning streak at 8. They get the win here, 15-10 over the Vandals. Well, folks, it is official. We know that much. Like I was explaining before, the Pittsburgh Destroyers will move up into the 6th seed of the Eastern Conference. They get past the Gowanda Outlaws. So the Outlaws probably going to fall a little bit from that one, considering their loss. They got to be feeling pretty fortunate about Buffalo losing and Hartford losing, but hey, Washington right there with them. So that is going to be something else right there. Those two teams going to be at the 7 and 8 seed with 47 points of their own. So Gowanda and Washington now in that battle, kind of making it interesting in the East. But needless to say, Pittsburgh moving up a spot. So, but that being said, now we move on to the San Jose Storm and the Washington Patriots. And with the Nevada Thunder being able to get their win over Miami earlier, like you saw in the highlight reel, definitely crucial for the Storm to win this game. The New Orleans Gladiators lost, so Nevada has already moved past New Orleans in the standings. So, big game for San Jose if they want to keep their playoff spot, because if they were to lose, Nevada would just jump over them both, and San Jose would end up falling into that 9th seed. So the Storm trying to hang on to a playoff spot, and of course the Washington Patriots trying to keep up with the Tampa Bay Gators, who got a win today, trying to keep that gap at just a 1-point gap in the Southeast. So big matchup for both the Storm and the Patriots. Let's get you down the field for our main event.
This is game time, and it's game time, and the madness fly. Show the strength that just can't be defied.
And folks, we are back on CDL Live, ready for our main event here to take place down on the field. And in case I didn't mention it, with Phoenix and Pittsburgh, our last game that we saw, the last featured event that we saw, the mid-feature. Pittsburgh's next game going to be home against the Miami Mafia. Phoenix's next game on the road against the St. Louis Twisters. But on the field right now, ready to go head-to-head, the Washington Patriots, trying to keep pace with the Tampa Bay Gators, who just picked up a win and a huge comeback against San Francisco. So Washington trying to follow suit and get a win here today. And a game day where it's been cross-conference, and the East has not had much success. As a matter of fact, 13 wins, 6 losses, and 1 tie is the record for the Western Conference teams today against Eastern Conference teams, as a matter of fact. So big game right here for the Washington Patriots. They are trying to keep up with the Pack. As a matter of fact, a chance has befallen them. As a matter of fact, Washington, with a win, could climb into a playoff spot if they can get the win over San Jose here, over the Storm. As for the San Jose Storm, they are trying to hang on to a playoff spot. The Nevada Thunder got a win today. They got up to 52 points. Now, even though the Gladiators lost and stayed at 50, San Jose at 50 points would fall to the 9th seed. So that's if they lost today against the Washington Patriots. So that being said, very big game for San Jose and Washington right here, as they are about set to go head to head. So San Jose Storm, Washington Patriots. As I'm looking over stats here and stuff, trying to read it all off and add up the numbers and whatnot. But should be a great game to see These two teams go head to head, kind of almost similar records, if you will. San Jose Storm, a little bit better of a record, 2 games off, only 2-game difference between the two. The Storm with a 16-10-0-2 record. Washington Patriots with a 14-12-0-2. Both set to go head to head. As a matter of fact, both these teams going to be having a bye soon, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Washington on the May 6th game day, Washington will have a bye. And San Jose has a bye on that April 29th game day, the next game day coming up. We won't see them again until May, when they'll be on the road against San Diego Lightning. So, that being said, yes, let's get a look at the lineups. San Jose Storm, Washington Patriots. Oh, the front runners are out and ready to go. It's Solid Snake for the San Jose Storm, and for the Washington Patriots, it is going to be Landlord. So here we go. Solid Snake, Landlord going at it, and Landlord has a good flip. Solid Snake going down on a gray shot right there that brings out Phantom for the San Jose Storm. So 5-0 Washington in the lead, and interference right there. Phantom keeping himself in the game, but at the same time staying up there. Hoping that his weight can pull through here, but the aerodynamics going to be tough to get past, but he does. So Phantom getting the flip on Landlord there, tying things up at 10. And now Phantom ready to go head-to-head with Red Ferrari Jr. from the Washington side. Both cars able to stay up. Washington kind of feeling the challenges, and it works out for them, not putting Black Phantom there. Red Ferrari Jr. able to get the flip, and now we'll go head-to-head with Wasp. And Wasp goes down there, and it is going to be a good flip. 15-5, the final score. The Washington Patriots getting the win over the San Jose Storm with some relative ease here. Good win for Washington that puts them to a record. Let me see here what it was at. 15-12-0-2. San Jose will take a tough loss here. 16-11-0-2. And with that being said, San Jose slips back down to the 9th seed in the Western Conference. They lose their playoff spot for right now. Things so close in the Western Conference. The Nevada Thunder, getting their win, moving up to 52 points. They will actually move up into the 7th seed, the Nevada Thunder will. And New Orleans will fall into the 8th seed with 50 points. Right there with them will be the San Jose Storm, and behind them, a couple of teams at 49 points, the Dallas Lone Stars and the Idaho Cowboys at 49 points. So, of course, we are going to run throughout the standings and whatnot in just a little bit. 15-5, Patriots getting the win over the Storms. We take a look to our next game day, who these teams got. I think I already mentioned it. San Jose has a bye on the April 29th game day. We won't see them in action till May 2nd when they are on the road against the San Diego Lightning. The Washington Patriots, however, they will be in action on the next game day on the road against the Green Bay Dragons, as a matter of fact. So be looking forward to that game, Dragons and Patriots. But that's not on our next CDL Live. Our next edition of CDL Live, that April 29th edition, we all look forward to. Puerto Rico play is on the road against the Detroit Devils, leading it off. You ask why. And it's a good question. Both teams not doing too good, but both teams on the brink of being out of the division title race and almost on the brink of being out of the playoff race. Kind of a big game for those two in that perspective. So kind of a big matchup. Plus, both teams are pretty close in the standings, so should be a good game. That's why. And plus, Detroit has not been on CDL Live yet. So if you've been curious about seeing a whole Detroit Devils game, you'll get your chance on the April 29th edition of CDL Live. We are going to make up for it, though, folks. For those of you that want just straight up hardcore entertaining games, New York Empire on the road against the Gowanda Outlaws. Two teams battling out for a playoff spot there in the Northeast. They'll go head-to-head in our mid-feature on the April 29th game day. And then on our main event, should be a great game. Two teams trying to hunt down the top spot in the league, no doubt about it, or at least the top spot in the West. Both battling for their division from the Western Conference. The Roswell Aliens on the road against the Nashville Nighthawks as our main event on our April 29th game day. Spec-Type versus Extinguish. Can't ask for much more than that, folks. So that being said, thank you for watching this game day, the April 27th game day. James Hulse here, owner and creator of the Car Demolition League. Definitely appreciative of your support. Till next time, folks, take care of yourself, be yourselves, peace. Let's get you to the standings.
I love LA. Big Sad, California, yes, still applies to me. Everybody got something to say.